and someone wanted to sue you, if they do a research on you, they see that you own multiple properties. Guess what? So who will make those financial decisions for you? God forbid if you find yourself incapacitated. You are putting your family in a position of loss. In our community right now, a lot of people don't believe in estate planning. So most people don't have a will. They don't have
Right.
any trust, right? We don't have advanced directives for healthcare directives, or power of attorney. And I see a lot of people who have young children. They don't have any guardianship, document in place. God forbid if both parents were to pass away, who take care of the young children? So those are things that we educate people. So once we are able to look at the holistic picture, then we can formulate strategies based on where the person is at and what is the highest priority, and then we move from there.
Okay.
That's pretty comprehensive.
Wow. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's very.
I was about to ask about the estate planning, and
Mhm.
you touched on it a little bit.
Yes.
So, how does the estate planning work? I hear a lot about having a trust and this and
Yeah.
that, but I know it's a little bit more complex.
It is not as complex as people would like to think about because, usually anything that is foreign to your understanding, it always seems complex.
Looks.
One of my friends,
Right.
one of my friends when I was in Eastern Europe, we always say, what you don't know is darker than night.
Mm.
So, right. So, when it comes to estate planning, it's pretty easy to understand and then to do. Most people always feel like it's very expensive. The first thing first, everyone has to have a will. Most people think a will is just for rich people, but
Right.
everything you own is part of your estate. And in Cameroon, when you hear about estate, you think it's super large.
Big,
Right.
like
Big, yeah,
million,
yeah,
like
Mansions.
exit
yeah.
cars.
But
Yeah.
that's not the case. Everything you own is part of your estate. Whether it's your mobile phone, your bank account, even if it's a beat up Hyundai,
Oh, this is my estate. A part
yes,
of my estate.
everything you own, that's part of your estate. So you want to make sure that you have a will. And then when you set up a trust is a separate entity. So you can transfer ownership of most of the things you own into your trust. So if someone was to sue you, they cannot have direct access to that. So it
Right.
serves as an added layer, when we talk about asset protection. It
Hmm.
shields you from being exposed because if
Right.
everything is in your name, remember, almost everything is public information in America. If you
Yes.
own a home, they can find it, online. So now, if someone, let's say you get involved in a car accident and someone wanted to sue you, if they do a research on you, they see that you own multiple properties. Guess what? Now they won't be asking for
They're
five.
going for the properties.
Right. So then also we have to have power of attorney, whether it's around healthcare power of attorney or financial power of attorney. So who will make those financial decisions for you? God forbid if you find yourself incapacitated, right? If you
Right.
find yourself in a coma, who will make decisions? And then when it comes to healthcare directives, say
Right.
you're not able to, or maybe you find yourself in the vegetable state
Mm.
and you have your ex that you guys don't even talk, you hate each other, and that
Right.
person is your emergency contact. What do you
Hmm.
think will happen? They will say
Yikes.
plug, right?
Right.
So those are things we want to make sure. And then guardianship document. If you have kids, especially young kids, you want to have guardianship document. So it's pretty easy. We have a company on a platform that we work with. We link you up with an attorney that can get to help you put together those documents. And then for business owners, it is very essential because God forbid if you're not there, who will take over your business?
Mm.
Right.
Like you guys have a joint venture right now. Do you have
Mhm.
any, writing like, okay, if this we say fallout, how will the interests of each person be handled? So
Right.
those are the things that we have to have in place as part of our estate plan.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. Yes,
Wow.
there's a lot of good information
Yes,
Definitely.
that a lot of people don't know,
absolutely.
Mm-mm.
So you really like made this a simple process,
It
honestly.
is. It is very simple.
Yes.
Okay. So if someone, let's say, because there's some business owners that would be watching this, if they're wondering like how much does it cost to establish a trust, like because I think that's really great, especially for like business owners to be able to like secure their business whereby no matter what happens, do you know what I mean? Their assets are safe and secured. What they've worked for is secured. How much does it cost to establish a trust? How long does it take? Just rough
Approximately.
estimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So depending on the kind of trust that you need, because
Mm.
trust there are different levels of trust, right? But Typically, they fall under two different categories, whether it's a revocable or an irrevocable trust. An irrevocable trust, once you set it, it's literally set in stone, right?
Mm.
A revocable trust, you can make changes to it. So, depending on the kind of trust you choose to set up and also the size of your estate. So, for someone who has a little mom and pop shop, their estate is not complex.
Right.
But let's say if you have interest in a lot of different, public companies, right? And then maybe you own businesses in foreign countries, you own real estate in different places, and then you have a blended family, right? And
Yeah.
you deal with real estate. So that's a more complex estate plan because your estate is not just the like your phone, right? or your beat up
Yeah.
Honda or Hyundai Sonata or something. So
Mhm.
depending on the size, now it becomes a more complex thing. So, but starting out, it's from $1,200 and up for a
Okay.
simple estate plan, about $1,200. And most of the
Okay.
companies they will provide you a payment plan where you can pay maybe
Nice.
$50 for 24 months or so.
That's not bad, actually.
Oh.
It's not. It saves you a whole lot of money because think about, most people don't understand the implications of not having proper estate planning done. When you think about, superstars like Prince,
Mhm.
right? The guy who sang Purple Rain, and even the guy who sang I Feel Good, is it James Brown?
Yes, I
Right?
feel
Most of
good.
them, yes, they didn't have any, estate planning done. They didn't have a will, they didn't establish a trust. So when they passed away, since their family was saying, I'm getting this one is saying I'm getting that, and they start fighting, and also they had people they owe money to. So those people that start suing the estate. So it goes now into probate court. So
Mm.
in probate, you're paying attorney fees, you're paying administrative fees. Then the bank that oversees everything, you're also paying them fees.
Wow.
Yes, for someone like Prince, just the bank that was handling everything, they ended up receiving about $3 million, right? Just the bank.
Hey.
So we're not talking about attorney fees and
Yeah.
so that's why it is very essential. So because you are putting your family in a position of loss. So imagine now if your estate is not as big as Prince and then still have to pay attorney fees and you keep your family for long in probate court. Nobody wants to be grieving and then having to go back and forth, lawyers, going
Yeah.
into courtrooms. It doesn't make any sense. So you save a lot more by doing it now rather than procrastinating. Yeah.
So that means people just have to understand because it's actually like it's so like predatory.
Mhm.
Because when something is going wrong, people that are supposed to like help you, everyone is trying to get a piece of the cake. The bank is
Right.
trying to get something, the attorneys are trying to get something, the court is trying to get something. Everyone is trying to get a piece.
IRS is trying to get something.
Everybody's trying to
Right.
get something, and it's very predatory. So you have to really like try to secure your assets. If not, a lot of the money you worked for is just going to go to like people who are hungry and just looking to get a piece of the cake that they didn't work for. So
Absolutely.
wow.